It's time yet again to throw down. I've been wanting to do this particular comparison since Paige Pierce's Fierce came out. Now that I have all three putters, I want to compare and contrast them today. So first of all, this Fierce is the newest of the three putters, and this is the first disc that Paige Pierce helped to create when she joined Discraft, and it became her signature putter. It was first produced in 2020, and it was touted for its slight understability as a throwing putter, and the Tour Series version that I have is a straight flyer for me, particularly at short distances. The Luna is an extremely popular putt and approach disc, and was also a signature release for Paul McBeth in 2018 after he joined Discraft. Renowned for its use as a trustworthy putting putter, it's also been in high demand as a straight flying throwing putter with decent fade. Last but not least, the Zone. It's been a Discraft special for over 10 years, and it's become one of the most popular approach discs of all time. And it's arguably a small diameter mid-range, and it's also less useful as a putting putter. It's also pretty commonly called a cheater disc because it's so easy to use and it prevents turn, and it also is not easily overpowered, and it corrects a lot of errors in form when you throw. For example, if you throw a sidearm and you roll your wrist over, the stability of the Zone helps to minimize the negative effects. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at these three discs. I figured I would take a page out of the Disc Golf Nerds textbook and do a quick little side-by-side comparison of these three discs. I put the Paige Pierce Fierce in the middle for the sake of the camera because it's easier to see when it's in the middle, but this is a very beautiful disc, and it's got a profile of what you would expect of actually a putting putter, and this is extremely comfortable in the hand, and it's very pretty, for lack of a more eloquent term. I love this effect that is built into the foil, and this looks and feels like a very good disc, very good putting putter and throwing putter. Next up is the Tour Series Paul McBeth Luna, and this also feels very good, but to me this definitely feels more like a throwing putter than a putting putter, though obviously you could do both. But also in my limited experience with these putters, this tends to be a little more overstable, where the Paige Pierce Fierce is, I would say, straight to neutral. I don't really experience the understability of it so much, but that may be due to this more premium plastic. And last but not least, the Get Freaky Zone. This is in Cryztal Flex plastic, also by Discraft. And this is a very good feeling disc. It's definitely an approach disc. It doesn't feel like a putting putter. And in fact, if you take a look at the wing length or rim thickness of these putters, this is the least thick, followed by this, which is only slightly thicker from there to there. And then last but not least, this is the most thick wing or rim thickness. It's got a longer wing, and more of the weight is towards its outside rim. And if you look at the profile of the wing, this is more of an aggressive slant. So next up, let's go ahead and take these out onto the field to putt and throw. Okay, so just to make one thing clear, this is not a review of any of these three discs. This is more of an impressions video and more of a demonstration video of what these discs look like when they're used for putting, as well as short distance throws or even mid-range throws. These putters all basically feel very good. They are all in premium plastic, and they're essentially either Tour Series or Signature Series discs that I believe are flying off the shelves. Regardless, I'm going to go ahead and start putting. That's the basket. So after throwing these 3 discs, I realized a few things. For one thing, the Fierce and the Luna are less stable at higher speeds, and in my experience, they require a slight hyzer to allow them to flip up to flat. I've tried throwing these completely flat for a distance of 150 feet, and they actually turn either right out of the hand or, in the case of the Fierce, or at a shorter distance, it'll start to turn with the Luna, but they both turn. In fact, that's why for sidearm, I only show the 3 throws that I made with a slight hyzer, because it couldn't quite dial in the either flat or hyzer throws, and I was also afraid to try a straight and hyzer and turn the 2 discs into rollers. So my footage there was incomplete, so I didn't use it. The zone is noticeably overstable at every speed that I threw it, and it absolutely resisted any turn. I couldn't hyzer flip it, and flat releases made it fade hard towards the end of its flight. I could see using the zone with an anhyzer, flex throw to give it a specific flight path and allow it to travel, its max distance. That said, I think it fits right between the approach putter and mid-range slot, and it really should be treated as one or both of those discs. One other thing I want to point out is there's less of a difference between the Fierce and the Luna than there is between the Luna and the Zone. The Fierce and Luna aren't quite identical, but if you're good at throwing one, it won't take any time to adjust to throwing the other. However, the Zone is significantly different than the other 2 discs, and it does take a little more time to learn its particular flight path. So let's summarize these 3 discs. The Fierce is stable. It's a straight flyer at short distances, but it's understable at longer distances. It could easily be a putting putter. I could definitely see someone buying 6 of these in a baseline plastic and using 5 to practice putting, and then the other one they would, bag as their primary, putter. And then they would get, say, a premium plastic version for approaches and upshots. I do think this disc in particular feels absolutely amazing. The Luna here is overstable, but slightly so. I think it's good for approaches or drives, and I think it's a great all-around disc. And I have to admit, this is what I would consider to be a jack of all trades. I think you could buy just one of these and then play an entire round of wooded golf with it. I definitely see why it's so popular, and I think that every Paul McBeth or Discraft fan should probably bag it. And finally, the Zone. It's very overstable. It dumps at 100 feet, but at greater distances, 150 and beyond, it only fades hard. It doesn't dump at that point. It does fight the anhyzer release angle greatly, and it is a lower profile disc, though it's not shallow. I don't think you throw this because you want a straight shot per se. I think you want to throw it, to prevent turnover, and you want that strong fade towards the end. Or you want a wind fighter that you trust won't get blown about. You also won't get max distance out of it like you might get for some of these other discs, but I do think this will help you control the outcome of its flight and minimize skip on the ground as well due to the angle of the rim and its general desire to slow down pretty significantly towards the end of its flight. So that wraps up this Discraft putter throwdown. These are 3 fantastic discs, and I could see why someone would buy and bag all 3 of them. If you like this disc comparison, please give this video a like, as it really does help me out. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do, as I have more videos on the way. My next video, in fact, will be a Luna only putter round. I've got this rubber blend Luna. The stamp here is faded off for a reason I'll list in the other video. But that and this Tour Series Luna, I will be having a video exclusively with those 2 discs. That's going to do it. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.